Hi everybody, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I want to talk to you about some medicinal perennial herbs you can add to your property. Hi, my name's Corinne, and here at Spirea, I share videos that weave together plant wisdom, holistic health, self-sufficiency with just a dash of magic. If this sounds interesting to you, I'd love for you to stick around. So it's early spring here. It's still cold, as you can tell. We're having to wear our hats and warm coats, but this is the perfect time to start thinking about adding in some perennial herbs that will be in your garden year after year. You don't really have to think about them, right? You can just plunk them in a spot and then every year they'll come back for you. Now, I live in zone 5A. I feel like it sometimes behaves like a 4B. So everything I'm going to show you here today is hardy to those zones. So the first one I want to start with is thyme, right here. And what I love about growing things like thyme is that this is also an amazing culinary herb that you can use in your cooking. It makes great teas, and it's a really fantastic herb to have for things like your immune system and your digestive system. So I would highly recommend having some thyme. And we're going to come down a little further here, and hopefully there's not too much of a shadow. And my husband can kind of get in. This is all the stalks from last year's oregano, but you can see oregano starting to come back up too. And I highly recommend also having oregano on your property. It's an amazing antimicrobial. It's going to help boost the immune system. And I actually have a video, and I can link that. I think that's up here. He always tells me, my husband always has to remind me that I have a recipe for you for a thyme and oregano elixir, which is really great to have in your home apothecary. All right, so now you're gonna come follow me to my mint patches. I've got them around the side of the house, and they actually do really well here. You can see all of my neighbors got these massive maples, and despite the amount of shade that this bed gets, everybody's really happy over here. Now, I haven't really cleaned this bed out yet, but I can already start to see some lemon balm. So if I really pull this back in here, you can start to see a pop of green coming in. This is lemon balm. Lemon balm is an amazing, it's really tasty. So it's one of those plants that you want to have on hand if you've got little ones, because they don't mind the flavor. It makes a delicious tea. It's really great for things like fevers, digestion, your nervous system, your immune system. So you definitely want some lemon balm on your property. And a little further down, and I don't know if we'll have any popping up yet, but this is not yet. It's still a bit too early. Oh yes, right here, babe. Oh, I can smell it. There's my peppermint. So this is Mentha Cross Piperita. We actually just covered this plant in Weavers of Plant Wisdom. So if you're interested in learning more in depth about plants, how to incorporate them in your life, I highly encourage you to check out my membership platform, because we did a whole class just on peppermint. And again, very similar properties to lemon balm, but it makes amazing teas, iced teas, fantastic for the nervous system, the immune system, the respiratory system. So why wouldn't you want to have this plant on your property? Are you ready to take your herbal learning to the next level? To dive into the world of plant-based wisdom and to walk the path of a plant worker? If you are, I invite you to check out Weavers of Plant Wisdom, which is my new monthly membership platform where we explore all topics plants. I hope to see you there. So we're now heading to the back of our property, and you kind of get a bit of a look at our gardens this year. There's not much coming up here. We've got rhubarb. And she's already kind of frosty there. It's still pretty early for us. The coltsfoot is out in bloom. If you want to learn about coltsfoot, I do have a video about that as well. And it's so funny because I did not plant this here. I planted it all the way over on the other side of the swale. So once I harvest these flowers for tincture, and if you want to learn about the medicine of coltsfoot, I can link that as well. I'm going to move those, but that's not what I came here to show you. We're actually going to head across the bridge for one of my favorite perennials. Now this one, you're gonna wanna give some space to. It can be quite invasive, but the big thing is that you don't want it around where there's gonna be little ones, unless they know where it is. My son always knows where the nettle patch is. Now it's kind of a mess back here. We had some high winds recently. There, let's go this way. Don't squish the leeks, babe. Here is our stinging nettle. Now we have it all throughout over here too. There's nettle everywhere. But stinging nettle is an amazing medicinal plant. It's fantastic for the urinary tract. It is another really great immune system plant, really great for detoxifying. But in the spring, you have a perennial food source that's going to come up. So the only thing with nettle, of course, is to make sure that, again, it's somewhere where you're not going to have a lot of like little kids running through, because she does have a bit of a sting to her. Okay, so we're back out front, and I have talked about this plant a lot on this channel, but I'll still link the videos above here. I'm not sure how many links I can put in, so feel free to use the search function on my channel too. The one I'm talking about is Comfrey. Now I want to mention that I'm not talking about every single plant you could possibly add. I do have an old blog post that I'm going to link in the comments or in the description below, because it's also got a list of really great medicinal perennials. So I'm just kind of touching on a few. But here we have Comfrey coming back. Now, if you homestead, if you use plants for medicine, I mean, this is an amazing plant to have. Definitely check out my Comfrey video, because you're going to want this on your property. Now we're just going to walk through the trees here, and I'll talk about a couple more. One for sure has already started to pop up, and that is yarrow. So around this old, our well here, I planted yarrow and bee balm or monarda. So this is your Achillea millefolium. It's already coming up. This is a fantastic plant to have on hand for things like topical injuries, cuts, bites, scrapes, stings and wounds. This is an amazing styptic. It's going to stop bleeding almost instantaneously. It's also an amazing digestive plant and a bitter. So a great one. Plus they're really pretty. I love having yarrow on the property. Now it doesn't look like the bee balm has come up yet, but in and around here I also have bee balm, which is Monarda didyma. If you can find Monarda fistulosa, which is the wild bergamot, you can add that to your property as well. But another one of those kind of warming carminative herbs. I've got a whole video on carminative, so I do recommend you check that out as well. But Monarda is beautiful. You've got these great pops of color. It makes a wonderful fresh tea, like a nice warming beverage. And again, really great for the nervous system and digestive system. So there's no evidence of this one popping up, but I do have evidence that it was here last year, and this is Echinacea. And I have this all over my property in all different places. And I really, I really love adding perennials to the property that are pretty too. Like, why not have your medicine also look beautiful? And so when you have perennial beds that have things like your monardas and your yarrows and your cone flowers, so in this case this would be a purple cone flower, Echinacea purpurea. You've got medicinal plants that'll support your family, but they're also really beautiful. And what's really neat with at least what I do with Echinacea is I don't harvest the whole plant and dig up the root, because I find that the aerial parts, the leaves and flowers, have really great medicine as well. So I'll probably this summer film a video on that. But here you've got one of those amazing immune system herbs that are great to have. Also a really good detoxifier, and she's pretty. So why wouldn't you want to have Echinacea on your property? So I think I've got a great little list for you guys to start with, and start adding some perennials to your property. They're really great because, like I said, they come back every single year. I never have to worry about my thyme, my oregano, my mints, my yarrows. They just pop up every year, and I know that I've got medicine right here on the property. Now, if you've got some favorite perennials you want to share, please drop those in the comments below and include your growing zone. So that way when our friends are looking through the comments, they know whether they're going to work for their area. But I'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to check out that blog post I mentioned. It's going to be in the description because I went into a lot more detail, including the growing zones, I'm pretty sure. So that way you guys can pick and choose what will work well for your property. So thank you so much for joining me on this video, and until next time, this is Corinne from Spirea Herbs, wishing you health and wellness.